China unveils major plans to build underground moon base inside of ancient lava craters. The Chinese base designers have unveiled plans to build their proposed lunar bases in volcanic caves on the moon, and it will allow for longer-term stays, they say. The researchers believe that these underground hollow lava channels could offer astronauts a natural shield against space radiation and the extreme temperatures prevalent on the moon. This would provide a boost to Beijing's plans to allow astronauts to stay on the moon for long periods of time. By 2035 is when they aim to do this. The underground tunnels, also known as lava tubes, were created by molten rock during ancient volcanic eruptions. While the outside of the lunar lava cooled down and solidified, the rest poured out, leaving a hollow tube behind. These tunnels can be several kilometers long and tens of meters wide, being big enough to natural shelter against space radiation and extreme temperatures on the lunar surface. Space agencies have discovered these tunnels all over the moon, and according to Pan Wendt, assistant professor of the Harbin Institute of Technology, Architectural Design and Research Institute, these tubes offer alternative locations for building lunar bases beyond the moon's south pole, which is believed to have an abundance of ancient water ice. Speaking to National Space Science Assembly last month, Mr. Pan unveiled plans for the lunar base last month, saying the moon's south pole could become really crowded and the extraction of water ice remains technically challenging, so we wanted to explore other possibilities. Pan added that the base, which was dubbed Laurel Tree, was still in its early design phase. The base would consist of a pyramid-shaped structure above the ground, which could serve as an entry-exit point to the tunnel. Meanwhile, its underground component would include a core cabin, a working cabin, and several living quarters. The design shows that the vertical core cabin serves as the control center of the base and would be equipped with sophisticated equipment connecting the doorway with the working and living areas. The cabins for working and living would be made of pressurized interiors topped by inflatable arches, according to the South China Morning Post, and these would be quick and easy to deploy given the lack of air or wind on the moon, Mr. Pan said. The researchers would create lunar concrete using rocks on the moon, along with adhesive additives from Earth, and then use the concrete to fill archways, forming permanent structures. China has stepped up the pace of its space program over the course of the last decade, with the moon being a particular focus. The Chinese lunar exploration program is notable for including the first and to date only successful landing of a rover on the far side of the moon. China is planning robotic missions to the moon's south pole, the area thought to contain water deposits which could be harvested to produce rocket fuel in the coming years. And by the end of the decade, the China National Space Administration expects to be able to launch rockets powerful enough to send astronauts to the lunar surface. It hasn't done so yet. This is by Anthony Ashkenazi on Express UK. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.